excitement, passion, fanaticism, hooliganism, fear, and racism. A plague doesn't infest sports on a global level. Ignorance and intolerance are issues that have been lingering for years and need to be addressed immediately. I implore everyone to become active. Sports serve as a microcosm for much larger societal issues at hand, and to be passive is to stand by and allow persecution to continue. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, or golf, the line between fandom and racism has become blurred. Sports should be colorblind. However, bigotry is still prevalent in the game of football. Carlos Camini, the goalkeeper for the professional Spanish club football team Espanyol, has been at the receiving end of countless racial chants and slurs. During one game, bananas were thrown in from opposing fans as the spectators repeatedly chanted, "Monkey, monkey." As an important member of the team, Camini has been a regular victim of racial abuse from a section of the club's radical fans, as well as opposing supporters at other grounds in Spain.
When I see a banana on the field, I think, I'm not a monkey, I'm a human. It's hard for those far away to understand. But on one hand, I'm a respected member of the team, and on the other hand, I'm an animal.
Camini is not alone. Marco Zorro, an Ivorian national team player and defender for the professional Italian team Messina, threatened to bring a Serie A game to a halt after enduring racial abuse from traveling Inter Milan supporters. The Ivory Coast international picked up the ball during the second half and walked off the pitch towards the fourth official before other players, including Inter's Brazilian forward Adriano and Nigerian striker Obafemi Martins, persuaded him to continue. Monkey chants ultimately reduced Zorro to tears.
I couldn't take it anymore. What I did was instinctive. They were in my head. My head was so full of what they were saying, I couldn't concentrate on the game, and I couldn't go on like that, and I had to pick up the ball.
The next time Zorro played Inter Milan, fans held up a banner that said, "Peanuts and bananas are the pay for your infamy." During the 2006 World Cup final, French captain Zinedine Zidane headbutted Italian defender Marco Materazzi. After the game, many critics said that Marco Materazzi prompted Zinedine Zidane to headbutt him by calling him a dirty terrorist. Zidane's parents are both from Algeria. During the 2004-2005 Spanish Primera La Liga season, 15 minutes before the end of a soccer match between Barcelona and rivals Real Zaragoza, Cameroonian striker Samuel Eto'o decided that he had enough. Shouting "No mas, no mas, no more," the Barcelona striker turned abruptly and began to walk off the pitch. The chorus of ape noises from the stands at Zaragoza's Romareda Stadium, which had sounded each time the Cameroonian-born striker touched the ball, erupted louder than ever. Sometimes even players engage in racist acts. As a self-proclaimed fascist, Lazio striker Paolo Di Canio has often been seen giving the fascist salute back to his fans. UEFA and FIFA have fined clubs for racist chants. But will these puny fines deter racists from acting again? Racism in sports should not come as a surprise. Ignorance and intolerance have deep roots in our world games. Think back. Jesse Owens is best remembered by sports fans as the man who upset Adolf Hitler's Aryan Nation Olympics by not only winning 4 track and field gold medals, the first individual to do so, but setting or tying world or Olympic records in the process. Owens' Herculean feat occurred during the 1936 Berlin Olympics, Hitler's supposed showcase for his Aryan racial superiority. By winning his 4 events, Owens, at the age of 21, tied the world 100-meter dash record at 10.3 seconds, set Olympic records for the 200-meter dash and the broad jump, and ran the first leg for the Olympic and world record-setting 400-meter relay team. Hitler was forced to watch as his German athletes lost to a black man. Jackie Robinson served as another pioneer on breaking the racial barrier. In 1944, Jackie joined the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro Baseball League. He was soon noticed by a baseball scout for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Although there was no law against signing black baseball players in the major leagues, there was an unwritten rule against it. Nevertheless, the Dodgers owner Blanche Rickey had begun a secret mission to sign the top players from the Negro Leagues. In 1946, Rickey signed Jackie Robinson to a major league contract and designated him for assignment at the Dodgers minor league team in Montreal, Quebec. He became the first black player in 57 years to play in a major league baseball game. During Robinson's first year, he endured racism, taunting, and intolerance. Some of his teammates even threatened to stop playing rather than have Jackie as a teammate. Nevertheless, Blanche Rickey and several of the Dodger players supported Jackie. Despite the obstacles that he stood in his way, Jackie provided his integrity and strength as a person. He went on to have a stellar baseball career. He led the major leagues in stolen bases in 1947 and became the Major League Baseball Rookie of the Year. In 1949, he was named the National League's most valuable player. In 1962, Jackie Robinson was inducted into the Major League Hall of Fame. He died on October 24, 1972. Back to the present, there are athletes fighting for change. Having been subjected to racism in the past, French striker Thierry Henry is an active spokesperson against racism in football. The most prominent incident of racism against Henry was during a training session with the Spanish national team in 2004, when a Spanish TV crew caught head coach Luis Aragonés referring to Henry as a black shit. The incident caused uproar in the British media, and there were calls for Aragonés to be fired. Henry and Nike started the Stand Up, Speak Up campaign against racism in football as a result of the incident.
Stand up.
Speak up.
One of my teammates came up in my room and said, "Did you see what Luis Aragonés said about you?" And I said, "No, I just, and then told me what he said, and I went, come on." He said, "No, it's on TV, they have it on TV." I said, how can they have that on TV? And I put the TV on, and there it was. I was speechless.
There have been countless other campaigns to stop racism in football.
Do you see a black man,
a Frenchman,
or a footballer?
Is it okay to shout
Racial abuse at me?
just because I am on the football pitch? Some people say.
We have to accept abuse as part of the game. Why?
I know that violence is not acceptable in sport.
So why should we accept hatred?
Why argue about
Differences.
I'd rather play football.
Unless authorities impose real sanctions on racists, it will amount to merely words. The world's beautiful game is not the only sport engulfed in racism. Basketball has also seen its share of racial intolerance. In 2004, a game between the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers of the National Basketball Association turned ugly as the two teams brawled on the court after a tussle into the basket. Detroit's Ben Wallace and Indiana's Ron Artest were the first two to start fighting, but soon enough both benches cleared and the brawl engulfed the entire court. What made this fight unlike anything the NBA had ever seen, or any sport for that matter, was the fact that after the fight had settled down, a fan threw something at Artest, causing him to lunge into the stands, erupting into a fan-player melee. In the wake of the fight, many critics and scholars have chosen to focus on the fact that the black athletes, who are superior physically, leashed out at the white spectators, causing an uproar on both sides of the tense racial debate. During the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics, both the men's and women's Spanish national basketball teams found themselves under heavy scrutiny after both teams posed for photo shoots, slanting their eyes as if they were from Asia. Many critics found these photos to be extremely offensive and uncalled for, as they were clearly mocking the host nation. George C. Wu, Deputy Director for the Organization of Chinese Americans, was appalled by the photos and could not believe that Spain would produce such divisive imagery during a period where cultural unity and cohesion is supposed to exist. While Jose Luis Saez, president of the Spanish Basketball Federation, insisted that it was a sign of respect, it still begs the question to how certain cultures and nations interact in the realm of competition, and by extension, how the media portrays these relationships. Many sports critics believe that if the United States basketball team were to have posed in a similar fashion, they would have been suspended from competition, highlighting the notion that there may exist double standards in terms of leniency towards racist attitudes. Notions of race and racism have always been closely linked to sports and its coverage in the media, specifically calling attention to the ways in which athletes with various ethnic and racial backgrounds are being portrayed in mainstream media. Whether in the football stadiums in Europe, or the basketball arenas in the United States, race has and always will be a conscious factor in analyzing professional competition. Unfortunately, sports creates a channel for which racism can spawn and survive. Sports provides a landscape in which cultures and nations collide, often creating inherent friction between groups of people based on race and ethnic backgrounds. On a transparent level, most are horrified by racism, but to sit back and remain unmoved and unmotivated to help in the cause only maintains the hatred that is bred in the realm of sports. Even though you may be far away from Samuel Eto'o, Marco Zorro, Carlos Camini, Zinedine Zidane, and Thierry Henry, you must help the cause, or there is little hope for change.